What's going on, guys? So today we're going to talk about hip inter-rotation and the importance of this movement for a healthy back, knees, of course your hips, and also how effective inter-rotation, how important it is in Jiu-Jitsu. This video is kind of inspired from a post I saw, and it's from Coach Christina Marie on Instagram. She's a Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, and she did a great job breaking down why inter-rotation is so important in Jiu-Jitsu, whether it's, weaving your legs in to re-guard, getting a tighter triangle, or just protecting your knees and protecting your joints, when that hip gets rotated inward. So we're going to talk about hip inter-rotation, and there's three components of this that we're going to break it down into. We're going to work on a passive stretch. We're actually moving our hip into that range and stretching it. We're going to do a movement where we're actually just activating the muscles, trying to get that hip moving in that capacity by activating muscles. And then the last one, we're actually going to apply a little resistance. We're going to use a resistance band to actually strengthen that plane to protect that hip at those end ranges. By doing these things, we're getting a healthier hip, more control, more movement, and less likely to get injured. So just a quick disclaimer, again, if any of this causes sharp pain, pinching, anything like that, obviously discontinue and see kind of what's going on with your hips, see a medical provider for that. So we're gonna start by getting into our 90-90 position to work on a passive stretch. So this is where we get to our knees directly in front of us. This leg is directly out to the side. You want about a 90-degree or L shape in the knees and the ankles. Passively, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create inter-rotation in this way. Again, we wanna tense our body up, have a good solid base, shoulder engaged here. And we're gonna take our hand, you can reach over top or underneath, try to keep our hips in a good position, not rotate our body, and try to bring that leg up. You're gonna hold, you can do 10 to 15 seconds, and then come back down. What you don't want to do is move your body while you're doing this. Again, you can even go over top and gently pull, and then hold, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna do this in a different position on our back. So we just did our stretch here. Now we're gonna actually use a foam roller to help with this movement. So now we're gonna use a foam roller to create some tension in our hips and also create good spacing for the proper position. So what we're gonna do here, lie on our back, hips are gonna be bent at 90, knees at 90. Put the foam roller between the knees here, okay? Good, we're gonna engage our shoulder blades down and back, pinch the foam roller, and we're gonna work on going internal rotation. We're gonna hold and pause. You can do one leg at a time. You can alternate sides. Again, keep good tension through your body. Try to keep your stomach muscles engaged and keep your back pretty flat. Again, you can also do both at the same time. Now the key here is creating good tension. We're activating these muscles to do this movement. Now again, hold times for this, you can do 5 reps of 10-second holds. You can do 10 reps of 5-second holds. You can do just whatever you feel is comfortable. 1 to 2 sets is fine. So this is part 2. Part 3, same exact positioning. We're just going to use a resistance band around our ankles. Good control, good squeeze, good engagement. Belly in, engaged. We're going to work on both. If you want to do both, or you can stabilize, do an isometric hold on the right, meaning that leg is not moving, one at a time. Same thing with the hold times. You can do 5 seconds or 10 seconds. You get a nice activation outside the hips, and again, super important for any kind of guard retention, weaving your legs back in. A triangle choke is another great example. If you're having a really hard time finishing that triangle choke, what you need is to create as much tension and close down on the space between the legs. So for example, where this would be important, would be, if we're in this position, obviously we're closing down the joint space, but what we can do to create a smaller triangle here is rotate this leg internally, and as you can see, that closes down the joint space. Just like that. So if anything, if you've got some opponents that are really hard to finish with a triangle choke, and you're squeezing, you're closing everything down, try that last little bit of internal rotation, and if you have it, and it's really nice and strong and controlled, you can really get that end squeeze that may make the difference in completing the choke as well. So guys, super effective, useful as recovery, useful as a warm-up. Again, be mindful of maintaining good hip mobility. It's really important. So we did a passive movement where we stretched it ourselves, then we did some muscle activation, and then we did a little bit of a resistance exercise. Those three components are going to touch a lot of the bases that we need to get a good, effective improvement in the mobility of the hips and also in the strength of those hips. So guys, that's it. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.